LangGraph employs a template-driven prompt generation mechanism to structure question-answering tasks, where the generate prompt constant defines a fixed format instruction set that constrains model outputs to concise, context-grounded responses. This artifact demonstrates how stateful message passing extracts user queries and retrieved contexts from a message's state object, formatting them into a standardized prompt payload before invoking a response model. We're about to examine the implementation of this answer generation node, which will reveal how the system processes structured state inputs and produces final responses while maintaining strict output constraints.
Generate prompt equals. You are an assistant for question answering tasks. Use the following pieces of retrieved context to answer the question. If you don't know the answer, just say that you don't know. Use 3 sentences maximum and keep the answer concise. \n. Question \n. Context. Def generate answer state. Messages state. Generate an answer. Question equals state messages 0. Content. Context equals state messages -1. Content. Prompt equals generate prompt. Format question equals question. Context equals context. Response equals response model, invoke role. User, content, prompt. Return messages, response.
This code implements the final answer generation node in a retrieval-augmented generation pipeline. The generate answer function takes the current conversation state, extracts the user's question and retrieved context, then formats them into a structured prompt for the LLM. The prompt explicitly instructs the model to provide concise answers using only the given context, with a strict 3-sentence limit. The implementation follows a clean separation of concerns, where the prompt template, generate prompt, is defined separately from the execution logic. This design allows for easy modification of the prompt structure without changing the function's core behavior. The function assumes the state contains exactly 2 messages: the user's question as the first message and the retrieved context as the last message, which is a specific contract that must be maintained by the calling graph. The approach prioritizes answer quality through strict constraints on output length and explicit instructions to admit when information isn't available in the context. This prevents hallucination, but requires high-quality retrieval to be effective. The 3-sentence limit balances conciseness with completeness, though it may constrain answers for complex questions where more nuance is needed. Let's break it down.
Use 3 sentences maximum and keep the answer concise. \n.
Imports the path class from the pathlib module for handling file system paths in an object-oriented way.
Question \n.
Formats a string containing the label question, followed by the value of the variable question and a newline character. This creates a structured prompt line that clearly identifies the subsequent content as a question.
Context.
Imports the path class from the pathlib module for handling file system paths in an object-oriented way.
Def generate answer state. Messages state. Generate an answer.
Defines a function named generate answer that takes a single parameter state of type messages state. The function's purpose is to generate an answer, as indicated by its docstring.
Question equals state messages 0. Content.
Extracts the content from the first message in the state's messages array and assigns it to the variable question. The code assumes state is a dictionary containing a messages key that maps to a list of message objects, where each message has a content attribute.
Context equals state messages -1. Content.
Extracts the content from the last message in the state's messages list and assigns it to the variable context. The code accesses the messages array in the state dictionary, gets the last element using -1, then retrieves its content property. This assumes state contains a messages array where each element has a content attribute.
Prompt equals generate prompt. Format question equals question. Context equals context.
Formats the generate prompt template string by substituting the question and context variables into their respective placeholders, producing a final prompt string that combines both values.
Response equals response model, invoke role. User, content, prompt.
Invokes the response model with a user message containing the prompt, passing a list with a single dictionary specifying the role as user and the content as the value of the prompt variable. The result is assigned to the response variable.
Return messages, response.
Returns a dictionary with a single key, messages, containing a list with the response object as its only element. This packages the response in the expected format for message-based processing pipelines. The generate answer function demonstrates LangGraph's template-driven prompt generation in action, where a fixed format instruction set in generate prompt enforces concise, context-grounded responses. The function extracts the user's question and retrieved context from the messages state object, assuming a specific contract where the first message is the question and the last is the context. This stateful message passing ensures the prompt is dynamically populated with relevant information while maintaining strict output constraints through the template's instructions. The separation of the prompt template from execution logic allows for flexible prompt modification without altering the function's core behavior. The design prioritizes answer quality by explicitly instructing the model to admit when information isn't available, preventing hallucination at the cost of requiring high-quality retrieval. The 3-sentence limit balances conciseness with completeness, though it may constrain nuanced answers for complex questions. This implementation showcases how LangGraph combines structured state management with controlled prompt engineering to produce reliable, constrained responses in question-answering tasks.
The response model weaves unseen context into answers it was never taught to speak.